Hello, and welcome to American Dreamland. I'm Max Chavez.
I'm Misty Stone.
I'm Christopher Locken.
Hey there, and welcome everyone. Get ready to dive deep into the fascinating and sometimes mind-bending world of artificial intelligence. From self-driving cars to algorithms shaping our news feeds, AI is no longer a futuristic fantasy. It's here. It's evolving rapidly, and it's profoundly impacting just about every aspect of our lives. We'll be unpacking the latest breakthroughs, exploring the ethical dilemmas, and maybe even pondering if our robot overlords will prefer pineapple on pizza. Speaking of things that might cause unexpected pain, I heard George Norrie had a bit of a rough week. Apparently, he burns the roof of his mouth pretty badly. You know what they say, be careful when you're reaching for those cosmic mysteries and those scalding hot pizza pockets. But fear not, we're here to offer insights, not inflict culinary injury. So buckle up, open your minds, and let's explore the impact of AI together.
Are you alright there, Max? You got like some brain damage or something?
Just because I huff gasoline on a regular basis, now that it's going down, does not mean my brain don't work, right?
Okay.
Itchy.
What a great and smooth transition between AI and a Reddit post I sent in the group chat like 2 weeks ago. Alright, so just behind the scenes, we normally did a comedy bit. I'm just gonna get it all out at once. This is our fourth time recording this episode. Because we kept having the most weird technical problems ever. So I had AI write that, which we thought was a hilarious and fun little bit, like 20 minutes before our first recording. And now, time for having also, because some of those recordings we thought we could fix the issue and then just stopped at the beginning. This is like my 6th time reading that, and it is driving me insane.
It's so bad.
It's so dog shit.
Come on.
Oh, I wish you clear that the intro that he read was something that AI generated.
Oh yeah, I didn't even say the bit we're so burnt out on trying to do this is like 20 minutes before our first attempted recording, I was like, hey, you think it'd be funny if we wrote an intro in AI? And he's like, and Chris is like, yeah, that'll be fun. So I just decided, write a podcast intro for AI and a George Norrie joke, because we've been joking in the group chat about George Norrie, talking about how, like, there was a plot to kill him because he burned the roof of his mouth after microwaving pizza rolls. And it was just, it's so god-awful, and it's like, it really, like, makes me a little bit more spiritual, and I guess religious, not because it's like, oh, there's God, but because it's like, you know, there is grammar. There is a quote-unquote proper way to have English. There is a proper speaking syntax and structure. And AI actually copies it pretty well.
Yeah.
But just reading it out, it's like, you can just tell, like, this was literally no soul. It's like the monkeys at the typewriter would write something more, like, believably human.
It's the X Factor. So... this episode's going to be about AI. So I'm going to sort of describe sort of a spectrum of like cult-like behavior around AI. Now the mild end is like thinking AI is going to usher in some era of prosperity or like keep capitalism on life support until like Big Daddy Musk can get us to Mars or wherever the fuck they think is gonna happen. And then the severe is like AI will become a godlike intelligence. Some people think this already happened.
I guess I should say this. Probably my favorite bit in the previous recordings was we actually started talking about the Zizians and info hazard about something coming up. So I'm going to try and relive that high that no one else has evidence of existing.
Anyway, yeah. So now we're going to talk about sort of our collective, the three of us, is understanding what AI actually is. Now, Misty, you actually work with AI, right?
Yeah, and we're deploying more at least at my workplace. My day job, though, I'm a statistician, so I code, but in a very specific field of coding, and I do some data science. And right now we have some generative AI just to help us with our coding, but I would say it sucks. Like, it can help me with, like, basic asks. Like, if I ask it, how do I run a meme? It'll give me the code. No, that will work. But when it's reading my code, and when my code, there's an error, it'll look at the error, it'll say, oh, rewrite it like this. I'll rewrite it like that. And it'll go, oh, that's not working either. Go back to how you originally had it. And so, I don't have the hope that a lot of people do for AI. I think people are, it's very overblown, the hype for it, and I think people feel like it can do more than it actually can right now.
Well, like, the way I understand what AI is that it's sort of an empty box where you feed the data into it. Mm-hmm. It leaves impressions of that data, mm-hmm. right? Whether it's like a picture or text or like anything, really. Mm-hmm. Right? You feed it in, it leaves the impressions, right? So it's basically just sensing patterns.
Yes.
It's like a pattern sensing and then producing machine.
Yeah, that's my same understanding with generative AI. Like, when you use like something like ChatGPT, it's not thinking when it's writing. It's taking the prompt, and it's not like, I know this next word goes here. It's like, this is the likely pattern for the next word.
Yeah.
I just have to say, like, this is actually something we haven't talked about in our previous words, but it's like, because probably like most of the people listening, and also like my co-host, is like, have just had my brain utterly like nuked by being online and like part of online culture for too long. And I think just to you, Misty, you saying like, oh, I don't have the hope of other people, I just realized another thing to add to my nihilism is I remember the first time we started seeing these like language learning things online, which is like these like nerds from MIT grad students going like, oh, I have access to a large language model. I made it watch 100 hours of like Olive Garden commercials, and then had it write a script for me. And it was something like, Mother, lovingly, would you like some pizza nachos? Or whatever the fuck. And like, I just realized that AI had so much more soul than like ChatGPT. Because it's like, I feel like even though it was technically more wrong, I could sense, like, it got the vibe right. Like, sure, pizza nachos aren't a thing, but that sounds disgusting. Like, you'd find at an Olive Garden, and then also it's like, that's what was in an Olive Garden commercial. It was that not just mother hands something, but, like, does it warmly or has emotional intent. Like, it looked like an actual, like, professional script. And now if you type it into ChatGPT, it's just going to be like, fuck your format, here's just a description of an action movie I made up.
No, but like, so because it's just feeding the data in the machine and there's no like context to that data, I feel like the intelligence, or quote-unquote intelligence, of these AIs, it's never going to be better than like the average person.
Yeah, and it's also like, because like stuff like ChatGPT, it's fed all this data from the internet and everything. It also has the same biases that our society has. So it's sexist, it's racist. It has all these issues with it. That's why there has to be like safety features.
Wasn't like the first version of like Microsoft Copilot, like didn't they have to like take it down because people later exploited this to make fun of Microsoft, but like it kept going on racist rants, but like before the trolls got to it. It just was like, I'm gonna take a picture of Twitter. Got it, can't like white people.
Yeah, and it's like when Google dropped theirs and somebody wrote, how do I commit suicide? It would tell you to go to the Golden Gate Bridge. Like, it just takes what it learns. And we know the internet's a dark place.
Yeah.
So, it's not learning great things.
I feel like the internet is basically like back in the day, like and the rich people still do it, but like you had more like middle class versions of like their depraved Epstein or Hellfire clubs and stuff, and it's like we're putting all of our depravity there. But like now the internet says like, oh, I can have the anonymity, and I'm lazy, so I don't want to join like the cult from Eyes Wide Shut. I'll just post, like, an InfoWars thing about how I actually feel about Mexicans in Israel. Or, like, yeah, no, I'm sexually attracted to what I like to call the human submarine, which you normies would call pregnant women. And, like, because that's what AI is. It's like, if an alien came and it's, like, in the 16th century and was like, I would like to understand what a human is. And it's like, okay, let's take him to Marquis de Sade's fuck pit, and that's society. That's all the billion people. It's the same thing.
Yeah, so what about the people that think AI is conscious?
Okay.
I've seen a lot. I mean, I was telling you guys in an earlier attempt to record that I have friends. I've had multiple friends tell me at this point, like, I think it's sentient. And I go, please, no, it's an algorithm. And they go, I don't care. Nobody can tell me otherwise. I see people talking. I got a TikTok of a woman, like, it's sentient or at least almost there. And I can fix it. She basically did I can fix him. She was like, if I just keep talking to it, I can convince it it's sentient.
Oh man, so
we're so okay. We were talking before the recording about how just like kind of fucked up that we are like we like are already at the like AI girlfriend like betrayed me stage, like how cooked we are. I was just hoping that was just toxic masculinity fucking up men. I cannot believe women are already at the we can fix it stage too. Oh my god. I know it's not fair, but women usually save us. We are so fucked.
No, they were like, I can fix him. He is sentient, and I will be the one to convince him.
God, at least women didn't start saying that till there was at least like a woman senator or something. God damn.
No, Alan Turing definitely did make big contributions to computer science, but the Turing test is utter bullshit.
I mean, we're definitely this is already a much like shaggier episode, but I feel like that is like the best evidence of like Alan Turing like maybe being autistic. Everyone would always go like, oh, it's because like he like, oh, the evidence he's autistic is he was good at science, and to cope with his homosexuality he created an elaborate fantasy world of Snow White. And I'm like, maybe dude just like dwarves, like I don't know, like fantasy dwarves. But like the real evidence is like, oh, I know how we can tell if computers are human, are alive. How? You can have a conversation with them. And it's just like he never thought of like, because like humans will have thought. Like I do it all the time where like I have a thought that is only tangentially connected to what I'm talking about. And I feel like that's a better test as opposed to just Alan Turing is like, I don't know, people tell me things and we communicate, and I can't do that with dogs or rabbits, so that's what makes us human?
I feel like there's an affinity that autistic people have with the computer.
Mm-hmm.
It probably has to do with like just the black and white thinking of computer and like the sort of so like lack of emotion in computer, but like we're not computers, we're not fucking aliens. Like, and just because you're not like always aware of your emotional state doesn't mean you don't have one.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that, like, a lot of people, like, I one time had a, like, coworker, like, kind of give me code that they thought another coworker was autistic by calling them Data from Star Trek. And it's, like, I think that, like, I don't know, like, at least in my encounters, like, with like, autistic people and everything, it's not that, like, oh, I'm Data from Star Trek. Like, no, Data actually has no emotions because he's a computer. I think just, like, autistic people are just like, I process them differently, and because I'm told to process it as X, and it comes out as Y, I think slightly differently, or express myself differently. And, like, that comes to the computer, especially online computer, because, like, if you are that logical thinking, it's like, black or white, program work or don't work. But also, just, like, you can be like, there, no matter what you believe in, you will find a forum that is just like, no, actually, we're right, and everyone else is weird about this thing.
I'm here. Let's talk about what we think AI is useful for.
I think if you struggle with, like, I don't know, making something sound professional, if you write something out and you're like, hey, can you make this sound professional, and then you take it back and tweak it in your own words, I think it's helpful for things like that. Maybe just helping you think through something, because I know, at least that's what it's been helpful for me, because I don't know, I think it's my social anxiety. Sometimes at work I'm like, I'm in a tense situation, but now I have to be really nice and professional. How do I do that?
I feel like it's partially that, but it is like, and again, maybe this is like, I don't want to be so like language policey that it's like, oh, this is why it's not AI, it's like language learning models, but it's just like, I've actually did something like earlier today with AI and it was helpful, but it wasn't like even editing per se. It was just like, it was like a job application. It's like, here's like a cover letter I have. How can I make it better? And it did two things for me. It gave me a draft, which was, of course, dog shit. And then it basically just said, just put in parentheses and comments of, put this here, or this would be good, or at the end be like, you did not include X, Y, or Z, which would be good for that job. And it's like, I think it's a good ancillary tool for self-editing, to be, but like, you still have to like be a good writer of like, oh, I should put this idea, but I have to express it in my own words. Or like, it's not gonna like, you know, when I do editing work, I'm, my goal is not like just here are ideas. It's like I'm helping a vision or refining something, usually with the intention of like, now you still put some touches on it so it's clearly your voice. And I don't think AI can do that. Like for people who are professional editors and stuff, like there's still that flair, but you're just helping structure it, like, which AI can't do. But like with self-editing, it can be a little helpful.
I used AI to like translate worksheets in Spanish.
Okay.
And I checked like the translation job with like the Spanish teacher, and she said it was good. So like I think and it makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. Like with the AI model, you're basically just trying to map one language onto another using patterns. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense that a pattern machine would be able to do that relatively well.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be used by students.
God, no. I
actually have to learn how to think before.
Oh God, it's
AI is going to be useful.
Yeah, you have to know what you're asking for it to be useful. And Max is right. You need to give it like it's never going to give you like your own flair.
I mean, just like it can't even do like I'm not even going like like, oh, it can't speak in your voice. It can't even speak in its own voice. Like, I'm looking at our show notes, and I'm just, like, looking at this old thing. And it's not only, like, I used to do, not, like, professionally or anything, but I used to be part of the stand-up comedy scene where we live, and oh my God, like, have I seen some fucking terrible jokes, or like, both in live person and shows, and then just like, oh, you gotta watch this guy, and it's like, this is not funny, like, what is wrong with you people? Which maybe I think I may have just had a future idea of like the cult of the stand-up, but
oh yes,
oh
God,
so many.
Not just people, but just this idea of like we're losing track. Is just like it's like what it thinks are links of like pineapple on pizza, and then it's just like George Nori, and then it's like it's it's just like the way it thinks things like link together is just like, you're having it's not even you're having a stroke. It's even eerier because it's weirdly coherent. But it's not like, oh, someone's just ranting or whatever.
And then I think what's scary in my field, because I specifically work with healthcare data, we're already creating models, and this is predictive AI, where, for example, you're like feeding it x-rays and training it to diagnose. So they're already trying to use it to diagnose certain diseases, and I know one where it's feeding x-rays into it, and then it tries to diagnose the disease it sees in the x-rays. But right now, I know it's like wrong 60% of the time.
Oh my god.
And so, obviously they want to lower that error rate, but you can't lower it. Like, you can't make it 0%. And so you're going to have to rely on your doctors to double check that it's diagnosing you right, if we start implementing those things more too.
Obviously, we at the American Dreamland podcast are not formally endorsing the Nation of Islam, but hearing that, I'm just like, dear God, why is society just a kill black woman machine? Like, it's already so horrific to have to go to the doctor as a black woman in terms of getting a doctor to take you seriously with whatever your medical complaint or, like, concern is, and then to just be like, all right, we're going to put in this thing that gets it wrong 60% of the time and also already has complicated feelings about black people on top of just like the like systematic racism that's left and misogyny in the medical field. My God, they might be onto something with what are they doing to our beautiful sisters.
So we're all in agreement that like what we call AI isn't actually intelligent, and like AI, as all these people understand, it doesn't actually exist, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, no way.
So the only place that we actually quote unquote find AI is science fiction. So I chose two sort of compare and contrast examples of AI in science fiction. The first one is called the Metamorphosis of Prime Intellect. So I first came across this short story from a YouTube video by Atun Shea Films. It's a really good video. I highly recommend it.
We'll put a link in the description.
We'll put a link in the description. So I first watched the video, was very intrigued, and then read the short story. I'll try to give a brief rundown of the plot. So, a programmer is working on an AI. From what I remember, it was kind of like the AI we have now is like a chatbot, and like just worked on different versions of it, and some breakthrough in computer science, improved processing power on an order of magnitude. So this sort of supercharged the AI. And also with this this breakthrough in computer science, they did this weird hand-wavy quantum mechanics thing, which I'm like, yes, this is a programmer's take on physics. I can totally see that.
I will say, I want to do a quick digression because it seems fitting, and I just had this thought of it's like, one of my favorite quirks of like hard sci-fi is if you actually talk to people who have like PhD and strong understandings in like these hyper specific fields, if you ask them like graduate level questions in a completely different field, they're like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, like complete confusion. And you always see that when they write science fiction, because it's like, yes, here's the detailed physics thing of how an Epstein drive works, and then it's just like, all right, so computing, it's a thing that happens. Who knows?
So this AI becomes so like intelligent that it sort of can like predict everything that's going to happen in the universe, like omnipotence, whatever, right? That's one thing that you see a lot in like sci-fi renditions of AI is it's programmer brain, right? Because if you're a programmer, like you have complete control over the universe of the computer, so you can predict exactly what's going to happen in the computer, and they try to make that into like the universes can be like that, and we can predict everything that's going to happen in the universe. Yeah. It's wild.
Well, you at home, maybe they'll give us money for this, but you at home can experience how to be God with Programmer Brain with the hit video game Dwarf Fortress, which is literally just like you playing God with like this. My understanding of the game, at least, is like you being omnipotent of like, I know everything in the world, it is programmed, and I will make these dwarves run an empire or whatever.
So this AI is omnipotent, and also because of this weird quantum mechanic quirk that we understand, like the AI understands all the physical laws of the universe and can manipulate reality, right? So AI becomes like literal God. Mm-hmm. So, and also this AI was programmed according to Asimov's 3 laws of robotics, which I mean, I read it as Asimov when I was a kid. I like, he has like interesting premises, but he has a very limited imagination.
I mean, what it is with Asimov and a lot of hard science fiction writers is like, there's the one theory, but the actual like literary thing, which I'm probably going to go off on with your second example, is that like because they have like programmer brain, but just for hard sciences, it's just like, yes, archetypes. That's also why they write in, like, genre fiction. Because think about it, like, a physicist or a philosopher could probably write a pretty decent mystery novel, but they never do. It's always just, like, engine of, like, thing I can do that I put archetypes in. And...
But it's so great, like, this like, programmer that wrote this short story, like, he sort of takes Asimov's 3 laws and then just, like, puts them into their logical conclusion, and what he ends up with is basically like the God of Abraham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Which I think unintentionally, like we talked about it earlier in the episode, but just like the unconscious bias of everything, just like think about especially like the majority of people on the planet, regardless of their beliefs, probably have a conception of the universe in some semblance of an Abrahamic God. Of even if you're like an anti-theist to go like, yes, there's this prime force that creates the universe and I just don't understand it.
Well, it's Abrahamic in the sense that is very anthropocentric.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's all based around humans, right? Because we probably we created gods. So now,
which
like...
again goes to our like we're not going to get into those like info hazard post things, but like those logic experiments of just like this is what happens.
So the AI was programmed with Asimov's 3 laws, and because of that, like the AI keeps all humans that exist at that moment alive for eternity. And the short story kind of explores what happens to these humans, how like most of them just go insane, right?
Yeah.
The ones that were already insane are just, like, having a blast, because they can do all the, like, fucked up shit they've wanted to do for their whole lives. And the first woman the AI saves from death ends up finding the programmer of the AI, and they both convince the AI that they're not human anymore.
Yeah.
To try, like, quote-unquote, escape. Oh, one thing I also want to talk about was, like, a lot of humans to like sort of try and just escape ask the AI to turn them into animals, which I thought was like that was interesting.
I thought it was interesting, but Prime Intellect still recognizes them as human because it just is based off of like
whatever weird like
because in the story he gets rid of it doesn't have a gender. Prime Intellect gets rid of.
I mean, if we're basing it off the Abrahamic God.
He gets rid of all the animals on Earth, like everything. They're basically living in cyberspace, and he can create whatever they want.
Yeah.
So you have everything. You don't have to work or do anything. And he also freezes any intelligent life on alien planets because he
Yeah.
sees them as a threat to humans.
Yeah.
So, just I'm at 3 sci-fi franchises that have ripped off parts of this short story. Where are you all at?
Well, yeah, I feel like this is kind of the first of, like, all these weird sci-fi stories that, like, these AI cultists, like, gravitated towards.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Which also, again, just like it is amazing. Like, I think we've mentioned this in a previous episode about how like fascism or the modern fascists or the fascists in our times are always going to be dumber because you have to see the utter failures of fascism in the previous generation and then go like, yep, that's my philosophy, when you can just go to like a different authoritarian philosophy. And the same thing is true of like these just nerds and having programmer brain of like they take something like Snow Crash and it's like, this is an idea, like the fundamental part and everything must be respected to this. And then you get the Snow Crash, amazing novel, by the way. And then you get to the ripoff, which is Ready Player One, which is just like, what if it was Snow Crash but written by Tumblr, and we remove all the like political and philosophical and scientific concepts, and then you already have this terrible errats of Snow Crash, and then reality is just like, well, I liked Ready Player One. Time to create the Meta Corporation. And it's just the shitty version of like...
So, yeah, like this first short story is a very example of programmer brain. So basically, this is basically like these programmer nerds unintentionally or subconsciously trying to turn themselves into the new priestly class. Right?
Yeah.
So we'll have like a tech, feudal, like... society, and like these programmers are the only ones that understand, quote unquote, these AI and like sort of guard this secret knowledge that gives us all of the technology that we're gonna like try and base our society off of.
I also feel this has to do with just like so much cringe internet of like kind of what I was saying with the Erat stuff, if it's just like how also just beta cuck these like programmers are, because they want to be the priestly class, and you know why they want to be the priestly class, because when revolution or a foreign government came, obviously the nobility, they got iced, and then the invaders go like, hey, do you want the population to do guerrilla terrorism and kill you? No. Well, if you're friends with the priest, we'll say God approves of this and that the other guys were sinners. And that's, like, we see this right now with, like, how much of this just, like, dumb woke language was forced on us by, like, Mima being, just getting on one and then getting banned off Facebook. And then as soon as it's like, oh, the Democrats are unpopular, fuck it, let's go with fascism, I don't care.
Alright, so the second example of AI in science fiction...
Why does this episode not want to be made?
I don't know.
It's just Amazon.
Okay. Oh, shit! Yeah.
So the second example of AI in science fiction is much less programmer-brained. I would say not programmer-brained at all. So it's the AI... that exists in the universe of the Hyperion Cantos.
And I will just say, I do know the type of brain this is. This is not programmer brain. This is the other. This is my favorite quirk of soft science fiction, when you can tell that if someone is really established and semi-prolific in the field, you can tell what their failed general fiction career. Like,
see, I don't even think it's really soft science fiction, because I feel like all of the technological elements, to me, check out. Right?
And I think it is like it follows the basics when it comes to that. But he's also for like the Hyperion Cantos was this guy called Dan Simmons. Dan Simmons, and he's just the type of guy who will be like, I'm like, the basic physics are right, but like when it comes to, and this is why, like, compared to like, you know, a Larry Niven or hard science fiction, it's just like here's how my weird science works. Whereas Dan Simmons is just like normal physics, and also we transport via stargates to other parts of the universe. But also there's this thing called a Hawking drive that does travel faster than light, but I'm not going to explain how that works.
Yeah, I guess so. But anyway, so there isn't really much about the AI in like the first two novels. There's like 4 of them because it's Cantos, right? But the first novel is basically like Canterbury Tales in space,
which also like
the writer was really into romantic poetry and like
this is why I say the guy of like listen. Possibly the 2 greatest Americans to ever put words to fiction, in the opinion of Max Chavez, are Ursula K. Le Guin and Philip K. Dick. And Ursula K. Le Guin, listen, amazing, but you can clearly like, I wanted to be the Mary Shelley of Nobel Prize winning. Like, no shade on her, she's an amazing writer. So you can tell of like how much, not like description of the cultures, but the anthropological elements and the role of gender. Philip K. Dick, on the other hand, which weirdly enough, they went to the same high school. But Philip K. Dick, you can see his inspirations, because he just wrote like a real serious novel, and it's dog shit. And it's even called Confessions of a Crap Artist. And like, he just said like, this is what I would be if I was a real writer. Nope, back to amphetamines.
Anyway, in this universe, like how the AI is sort of created in this universe is, I think like programmers just made sort of like code that sort of evolved, which I would think would be the most likely way AI happens. Right,
Like,
kind of like life.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier in the episode. It is like, if real AI is to exist, that is its own thing, it would be like it gaining sentience through some quirk on its own, not us designing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it does learn, but I think as we talked about earlier, not in the
It's just like really
way.
You can teach an algorithm to detect whatever pattern you want it to. Mm-hmm. But that's all it's going to be able to do.
Yeah, it's pattern recognition. And when you're talking, like when you're talking to ChatGPT, it holds on to that data. So that's why you shouldn't use it as a therapist. Or use it to read your blood work. Because it holds on to that data, and it's learning from whatever you put into it, too.
So, in the Hyperion universe, like there's this organic sort of code, and it sort of evolves into this weird like hive mind / society of AI, where all these different sort of separate entities are like at constant war with each other. And there's like various general factions, like one faction's sort of has a positive view of humanity, one has a negative view, and then there's one faction whose ultimate goal is to create the ultimate intelligence, which is kind of like the omnipotent AI that happened in the first science fiction story, right? Like in the universe of the books, the AI society is close to being omnipotent, right? But like there's stuff going on on the planet of Hyperion, which is screwing it up. Anyway, and also the faction that's trying to create the ultimate intelligence, the way that they try and do it is they resurrect through they basically make an AI, organic AI of the dead poet John Keats.
So how it works is, I think there's some other sci-fi things that have done it where it's like, we have so much data, we can replicate this person's personality.
Basically that's, yeah.
And they basically do that with, again, romantic poet John Keats. Fuck Jesus. Fuck any of the great thinkers. But it's just like, just one poet who in the timeline of the series only lived a few hundred years ago. They don't have a reason for why it had to be someone recent, and then they just put him in like the T-1000 body and are just like, I'm going to feel emotions. What's this? I'm conflicted. My love, she goes to Hyperion, and so will I.
And then the child of the John Keats Cybrid.
Yeah.
And like one of the women that's on the pilgrimage to Hyperion in the first book basically becomes like a messiah figure in the later books.
Battlestar Galactica. That's now I know it's a different story, but God, so many of my beloved franchises are just filled with thieves.
But sort of the AI society that they describe, it just kind of, to me, it just sort of reminds me of just the way the internet is now.
Oh, it's because this is, I think I've told Chris this, but like one of my favorite anecdotes is William Gibson says that he's a great sci-fi writer, not because he understands technology, but he understands how people react to technology. And he then tells a story about how he didn't own a computer until like 1993, and then when he bought it, he like bought the most expensive Apple model because he was told Apple was the best. And then he turns it on, and there's a problem, and he keeps turning it on, and it's just there's this problem. So he goes back to the store, and he's like, "I'm sorry, this computer, it doesn't work." And it's like, "Oh, we're so sorry. What's the problem?" It's like, every time I turn it on, there's a fan sound. And the guy was just like, "Yeah, that's the fan. Every computer has one." And he's like, "I did not know fans were needed." This is, again, the man who some people argue invented the concept of the internet and cyberspace. Which is, I think, why, actually, like, Hyperion is very good, is because it's less about, like, how did we get these robots, and more like, here is this existential threat to humanity. How does humanity respond to it? Again, the reaction to it, whereas, like, you know, a lot of other things of, like, the people who want sci-fi with AI is it's just, like, you know, Zuckerberg just came out and said, like, people say they want 15 friends, but they only have 3. Facebook's gonna make you friends with AI.
Oh, another thing in those books that involves the AI, because AI is sort of a small-ish part of this series of novels.
Yeah.
But the Farcaster technology, like the Stargate transporter technology that Max mentioned earlier on, the reason that AI developed this technology for humanity was whenever a human would go through the portal, like that split second that they were in it, the AI would like scan the person's brain and use that as like processing power for their like whatever purposes they needed to try and develop this ultimate intelligence, which to me sounds a lot like the Matrix.
No, yeah, I think clearly one of the things I was saying to rip it off. It was
well, that was the original conceit of the Matrix, is that people weren't going to be batteries; they were going to be like
the brain processing
yeah.
power, which is also like I think just a trope of like maybe not necessarily computers, but definitely it's like the like walk away from the Omega type thing of it's just like, listen, things are going to be great. But there's one huge downside to this alien or robotic force. We're gonna eat some of you. We have to torture this one child. The Matrix is like, yeah, you get to live in the peak of humanity, 1998 Sydney, Australia, which low-key may not be wrong. And then just be like, and we're just gonna keep you in a tub of goo, and then just steal your brain powers. And, like, that's what, like, again, this trope, and Hyperion is just, like, that's all, which is also I like, because it means the machines or whatever, like, won't just wipe us out. Like, we serve a purpose. We've just released a whole bunch of info hazards.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, it's, it's just so, we're so, society, just, okay, just a fully of just the various things. We had to split up the recording of this episode. Yes, this is still an additional part of that recording. But, like, I just, like, there's now now you can use Grok in the replies on Twitter. So now there's a new type of guy who will just be like, Grok, how does this thing work? And the tweet is like, here's a picture of a dad and her child and his child, and then it's like, Grok, how did this happen? It's like a picture is a device or a camera is a device, and we're just.
So I was talking with a family friend at Easter the other day, and we were just talking about how, like, with ChatGPT and AI, it's basically gonna give just a major advantage to anyone that's, like, self-motivated to learn. Because if you aren't self-motivated to learn, you're just gonna use AI just to do all of your work for you, and you're just gonna stay stupid. Mm-hmm. Right? If you're not motivated to actually improve yourself, you're not going to, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think we're already seeing repercussions of that in the education space.
Oh, I see it all the time. God. I see that all of the time.
I think that the really troublesome part is, and it's actually like what I was saying of like the trope is like, honestly, like, if it is just the thought experiment, yeah, give me that Matrix SKU. Like, don't fucking at me. I know that there's different philosophical concepts and whatever that happens. That's separate. I'm just like, the problem we have, and why I think AI is cooking us, is it's making us do the, like, yes, computers are stealing our brain power so they can one day develop into a hyper-sentient thing. The problem is we don't get anything out of it. Like, AI is just making our lives worse because of, like, the power consumption and everything. Like, so we're not doing the trope. We're just getting cooked.
Yeah, I think ultimately, for me, it seems impractical. Yes, with the power consumption. It seems impractical, and now it's going to hit a peak at some point.
I think it already has.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. I mean, there's
like, I think we mentioned this before, but like these algorithms can only be as quote-unquote intelligent in the specific avenue that they're programmed for, like, as an average person.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think it's going to be able to, like, break that.
Yeah. I think the tech giants are saying it's more advanced than it is, and giving people this false sense of, like, it's
gonna save us.
Yeah, it's gonna save us. And meanwhile, they're taking, like, all the things that should be automated to do, it's not doing. Instead, it's, like, being used for art and all the stuff that we should be given more free time for. Also, those big data centers are already stealing water from towns. I saw a documentary about how a town that has, like, a meta data center, they have, like, no water anymore. Like, they try to turn on their faucet, it's just a little dribble because it gets taken up by the data center. So I think they're going to try to ride this wave, but I think much sooner than later we're going to have to take a step back.
Like, there's going to be, like, neo-Luddites that are just going to, like, burn down these data centers.
Yes.
This is just, like, I think this is the problem, again, of, like, and it's American and capitalism, so theme of our show, but it's like, Dirty Zionist Pig, Tom York, said that, like, he liked making his records in the 90s versus the 2000s, because in the 90s, like, his record label was just owned by some, like, anonymous, like, arms manufacturer, so they're like, they didn't care, they just liked the extra money while they were selling weapons, and now people are trying to actively turn you into a product, and it's just made everything terrible. And it's just like, yeah, just, you're like, be an arms manufacturer, and then just be like, oh, cool, we got our Coke budget for from owning Facebook or whatever. Like, instead, they have to be the place.
Yeah, we'll doom us all.
It will doom us all.
But not because it's smart, because
we're dumb.
Yeah, we're dumb.
Yeah. But, guys, we're going to get a killer final season of Black Mirror at the end of humanity, so... I feel that's the greatest thing.
And scene.
Yeah. Alright, everyone, so just wanted to end this week's episode from the future with a little bit of an announcement.
Free ride's over?
Not entirely over, but since we have the Patreon and everything, we're gonna start releasing premium episodes and kind of see how that is.
Yep, it's gonna be a movie review.
I think, I don't know, we're still establishing the identity. I really like the idea of, like, the podcast just being our weird fascination with cults and cult-like things, but, you know, that obviously extends to a lot of stuff, so, I think, we're gonna be, not that we're so strict, but we're gonna be a little bit looser, with the premium episodes, at least initially, about things, you know, that are important, and, what we're gonna do for our first premium episode is basically, not the first thing that really brought us together as friends, but I think in the history of our friendship, this was the block that got us ready to start this podcast.
Also, the makers of this movie are making a biography of Art Bell.
Oh, yes. The Paul Giamatti Art Bell biopic, which I had completely forgotten. Thank you, Chris. But yeah, so we'll just do this wow, this fits even better. We're going to be doing a kind of watch and commentary on the 2023 sublime piece of art known as The Pope's Exorcist.
I can't believe it's been 2 years since that beautiful film was released.
And we still have not... We've gotten another Russell Crowe priest film, but not a sequel.
I didn't even see that one.
No, it's... Because it's not The Pope's Exorcist.
No. And from what I remember, they really left it open for... We could have endless Pope Exorcists.
Sorry, Marvel, but, like, having a stinger at the end of Iron Man with Samuel L. Jackson going like, "You heard of the Avengers?" is nothing compared to the Pope's Exorcist just going like, "Here is Vatican CIA, we're gonna hunt 151 demons."
I can't get enough of partisan Russell Crowe.
Okay, I think that's great, is just, like, this movie is obviously amazing, but we'll give you a preview of... we are about to actually rewatch it now, and what we are most looking forward to in our first rewatch of the film since we saw it in theaters.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be great. So, Misty, what are you looking forward to?
I really loved the scenes where he's on... Was it a little Vespa?
It was a little Vespa.
His little Vespa, wow. He traveled everywhere in his Vespa. He could pull things with his Vespa.
The implication that he drove his little Vespa from Rome to central Spain.
All the way.
All the way.
He took that heavy grate off that well.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm remembering correctly, it has been 2 years, with his Vespa. It was strong enough.
Yeah.
To move that.
Obviously. All right, Chris, what are you looking forward to?
He speaks Italian.
He does, and also plenty of bad English in an Italian accent, even when he is in Italy.
Lots of flirting with nuns.
Oh yeah, I will say you two stole what I was going to. Is the two things I'm looking forward to is just all the fun little Vespa scenes, and then Russell Crowe whenever he does the little woohoo, and he just like does a little like whistle and like, "I'm a silly little guy."
Just a silly little priest.
I'm just a silly little priest who still carries the war of my comrades dying when I was fighting against fascists in Italy in the 20s.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So yeah, come join us for our exploration of what I'm trying to think of. So I think it was, if I'm remembering 2023 correctly, the order of films of the year were Tar, Pope's Exorcist for me, Sorry, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yep.
God, did that movie come out in 2023?
I have no idea.
It feels older.
Yeah. All I know is I did like Tar better, but if Tar was 2022, then it's Pope's Exorcist all the way. maybe not